Hello to all my friends and family, and welcome to Jim's 5 a.m. club. As you can see, it's Wednesday evening and I'm heading to the ballet, so I thought I'd just walk to the ballet from work. And it's a beautiful evening. It's mild. We've got the Sydney light rail doing its runs. And let me get off the tracks here and head up to the Opera House, where I'll be going to the first performance in a couple of years. So on the way there, what we'll do is we'll do a book summary, and the book summary that I've got for today is entitled "Measure What Matters" by an author named John Doerr. So I wonder where this book is going to take us. So he kicks off his book by making a statement that we all have goals that matter, but we need to measure what counts within those goals. And a key measurement that this author has identified is called a key indicator, but more importantly they're called objectives and key results, OKRs, and they're the things or the measurement tools that I think are used in Google. Not sure, but we'll keep on peeling away and see where it takes us. So it's all about staying on course. So the author here says that if you want to stay on course towards your goals, you need to use objectives and key results to guide you and let you know if you're on course or off course. And these techniques that the author talks about in this book can be used in business and can also be used for personal use. So all of these are techniques, all of these are ways of managing your capabilities. And the key thing here from what the author says is you want to see how you're going and how you're tracking. And there are two things that the author says that we can use in our guidance system. We've got lead indicators and lag indicators. So a lag indicator basically is reaching an outcome. So it happens. It's a measurement that happens after you've done all the work and you've achieved your results. So it's basically reaching a goal and looking back. So it's the number of sales, the number of kilometres that you've driven, all of those sorts of things. So they're useful measurements for looking back, but you also need to have the lead indicators, things that give you a guide or give you a sense of how you're tracking and how you're travelling. And an example of a lead indicator for the economy is the share market, because what they say is that the share market performance basically gives you a 9-month view of where you're heading from an economical perspective, or where the economy is going. And it's something that we all keep our eye on. So that's an indicator. There are other indicators in terms of quarterly results, production results that companies put out throughout the year. And once again, people are able to look at those and say, well, the first quarter, this mining company, for example, produced X million tonnes of iron ore, and in its plans or in its financial statements, last year it had done a certain amount over the whole year, and then you can use that as a proxy to see how the company's tracking and whether or not they're on course or off course in terms of achieving their production results, which will affect their profitability, their revenues, and of course their profitability, as we said before. So let me have a look over here. Let me grab a bit of light here so I can see my notes. So the importance of the lag indicators is that they can give you an opportunity to, the lead indicators is that they can give you an opportunity to make adjustments to your plans, to make adjustments to your outlooks, so that those adjustments can also filter into actions, because as they say on many occasions, that when you're in a plane flying from point A to point B, you're rarely on course, because you're getting blown off course. There are things happening along the way, so the pilot needs to continually adjust the direction of the plane so that you can get to your final destination. But it's normal to be off track. All you have to do is just make the necessary fine tunings and adjustments to get back on course, to get back on track. So where's all this leading us? So the author's second main point from the book is that we need to constantly track how we're doing and realign ourselves when we get off track. So we've basically discussed that, and it's a pretty simple sort of concept, but you'd be surprised at how many people don't understand that. So what the author tells us here is that because he was a senior executive in Google, he said that Google basically meets with their employees on a monthly basis to see how they're tracking against their quarterly goals. So everybody who works and has a job there at Oracle basically sits down with their manager at the beginning of the year. This is all theoretical, because I've worked in many corporations and many organisations that talk about this stuff, but many do it as effectively and properly. So basically they'll sit down at the beginning of the year and I say, well, this is what we need to do, and I'll break it down into milestones and sub-projects, and then each month the manager and the different team members will sit down and see how they're tracking against that annual outcome by looking how they're tracking against the quarterly. So the important thing though is in this review is to identify progress, but also to identify any roadblocks and make updates, because the most important thing in an organisation, and this is what I learned when I worked at IBM, is not to have surprises. You know, if there is an issue, if there's a challenge, if there's a roadblock, as we said, we need to call them out early so that people can make some decisions, can redirect resources, and sort out the potential challenges that it may create. So there are 4 actions to change the objectives and key results. You can either continue doing what you're doing, you can update the plan or the OKRs and modify them with any changes or changed potential outcomes. You can start something or you can stop something. It's pretty powerful, but we need to be action-based and action-oriented in order to grow and develop and to achieve our goals. But it's important to understand that everyone has the opportunity to work on their objectives and to identify where they're heading, where the shortfalls are, and to take action. Importantly, to take action. So where are we up to now? So at Google, the call to action was to aim big and push yourself beyond your limits if you want to become successful. I remember years ago hearing a very, very powerful piece of advice that it's important to take big bites, and once you've got a big bite and a big mouthful, then to chew as fast as you can to be able to swallow it. So be ambitious, take big steps, and be bold is the big lesson, I guess, from this book. Geez, I'm saddened to see that the oyster bar here is closed down. Wow. So the author also goes on to say that there are two types of goals that an organisation should have, and the goals are the normal goals, the committed objectives. So they're the things that we need to do on a daily basis or a weekly basis for an organisation just to get through and to achieve its basic needs and to cover its costs. And then there are other things called stretch goals, where you basically give your team an opportunity to stretch themselves and go for big leaps where they can get big bonuses and achieve massive outcomes for the organisation. So we need ambition. We need to mix ambition with just basic business sense, because the author also is quite clear here in saying that the ambitious projects, high risk, high reward, but we need to understand that about 40% of these end up failing over time. So we need to be ambitious, but we also need to be realistic as well. So I guess that's it. So thank you very much for joining me on this episode of Jim's 5am Club. As I said, I'm just walking to the Opera House to meet my wife Paula to go to the ballet. And I've been going to the ballet for almost 40 years. We have annual subscriptions to 4 ballets, and that's our date night with Paula, where we can come down here and just focus on each other, relax, enjoy the beautiful music and the ballet and the boldness of this wonderful harbour. At the end of the day, if you live in Sydney, you've got to come down to the Opera House. You've got to attend performances in the Opera House. Otherwise, it's just criminal. So here we are. So let's finish off with a positive affirmation. I'm alive, I am well, I feel absolutely great. To my friends and family, stay connected, stay committed, stay reasonable, and most importantly, let's understand that we need to have goals in our lives. We need to be ambitious with the things that we want to do. Take big bites, take big leaps of faith, and the answers will come. Just make it up as you go. You can certainly figure it out. We're all capable of figuring it out, but we need to be bold and we need to take the big steps, is the big lesson from this book. And I guess that's it. So thank you very much for joining me on this wonderful, wonderful evening. It's so mild. It's beautiful. Oh, wow. I'm so lucky. We're so lucky to be in Australia, so lucky to be in Sydney during these tough times where COVID is just running rampant throughout the world, and it's really, really tough and really, really painful in some countries because people are just scared shitless, I guess is the best way of saying it. And the rollout of the vaccines are having their issues, are having their hiccups because of this AstraZeneca issue, or potential issue, this minor issue, but it's disrupted and interrupted the smooth rollout of the vaccine, and it's going to unfortunately increase the amount of hesitancy to take on the vaccine, I fear. and I don't think personally that Australia will get to the 70% threshold. I hope I'm wrong, but I'm very, very concerned, I guess is the best way of saying it, that we may have missed the boat by hesitating and leaping at shadows, but we'll see. Anyway, take care. Filakia from Jim, Yasas from Jim's 5am Club, and we'll chat again shortly. Bye for now, and wishing everybody a wonderful evening and a great middle of the week. Anyway, we've got the Opera Bar down here pumping away. Not quite a Saturday night sort of crowd, but not bad for an autumn midweek session. Yasas and bye for now.